Hello and welcome, as it is the 5th day of February 2018. Like always, everything within your own risk, own reward. Disclaimer in the more information box. Going to talk a bit more within this decline. Go over the comments on today's 2.5-minute warning. And talk about the cross of Litecoin with Ethereum. What I'm doing right now within the market and altcoins, and that is the content for this video. Price action below 7,500, but not really. It's just barely piercing below at this moment. In at about 71.50 at this time, and it is currently just in the area of where it resisted back in November. So some of the comments, starting off from D to Shara, all in cap locks too. Ooh, I thought we are going to 100,000. Yeah, you know, I remember a time, it was a while back, where I remember calling a pizza parlor, ordering food and telling them, oh, you will deliver, please, we will take that. Maybe 8-9 minutes went by and someone said, I thought the pizza was going to get here. Okay, Chris Daniels, the monthly chart puts it all into perspective. Oh, it's interesting difference between the monthly and the weekly. For in the monthly, never mind. I'm going to switch to Bitstamp, but I don't need to. I mean, that looks weird, but 18 average of highs, right? And at that area. What this tells me is that the market is having its first correctionary test. That's what I like about the 18 average. It does that such. It gives me the correctionary information that I need. Back in here on November of 2015, it was telling you that it was attempting to leave what was a downtrend at the time. And it was successful in its first attempt. Congratulations, Bitcoin. 18 average of lows, like I stated, is still at around 4,000. Oh, people would be panicking more. Maybe the cap blocks would get larger within the comments section. Oh, time would tell. On the weekly chart, it's breaking down below the support line. Ooh, that's scary situation. Is 5,000 possible? Well, that's the next level of key support. It would also be its decent first leg lower on an area like the 18 average. But if you want to see like the 18 average of those, I can put any time frame I want in. So let's just do see the 12-day time frame. It's on the 18 average of lows there, and 13-day time frame. Well, no matter how you look at it, the markets have been going in a parabolic state. And if you can remember to the videos that I was talking about before, I was stating after it broke past this big 5,000, the further this went up, without any decent corrections, and the only decent correction occurred in the middle of November, the bigger the pullback that is gotta happen will be. There was no way of knowing the top. This thing could have went straight up to 100,000, but if it did, I would have been talking about, okay, if it's going to go up from 5,000 to 100, it's probably going to pull back to like 20 or 25. If this thing broke 5,000 up to like a 10 or 12, yeah, we could easily come back to 5. Yeah, that's fine. But I think we would be safe to say that the 3,000 was getting close to the neck of the woods. And I say that now. I don't think we'll come back down to 3,000. Maybe if we do, it might be below 3,800 for no less than, or for just a quick period of time, like a half hour or less. But the whole point of it was knowing they always do that. They always have correctionary moves, and now we're seeing it. That's just how the market has to go. It's always good to know these things when you're in your earlier stages of investing, because the more you know, the better that one can do. Let's continue on with some of the comments. I just watched Tone Vase agree with you about possible 5,000 coming soon, but no big moves till March. Do you think it's a good time to pick up any Ether or Litecoin? Would be nice to have a crystal ball, but it is what it is. Have a great day. As far as crystal ball is concerned, I go with the best that I can go with, and quite frankly, Cliff High of the webbot halfpasthuman.com and his reports are a no-brainer for me to purchase. Like I stated on Christmas night when I bought the last one, and I read it for I basically did the first 20-minute read. Okay, this thing may not get going till the middle of February. Well, I guess that was a pretty good in that spot. Okay. Now, as far as Litecoin Ethereum, I definitely agree with Litecoin. It's half my portfolio is Litecoin. Actually, I'll quickly show my portfolio in percentage-wise. 47.9% Litecoin, Bitcoin, Extra Bytes, Dash, and so on and so forth. But all these small percentages are all part of the game that I talk about as far as buying below the 18 lows, selling above 18 highs. The hemp-based coins like THC, Dope, Can, and so on, I'll be looking to get in when the prices get significantly lower. And we'll be talking soon about the Ethereum charts, at least crossed against Litecoin. And we'll take a look at the Bitcoin one too. But our Kendall, these are some great questions here. And I really wanted to answer this one because this is awesome. Why use herd technical analysis on a totally unregulated and manipulated market with 4% controlling 97? I really wouldn't use quote unquote herd technical analysis too much. A lot of it was because I couldn't understand it. Oh, stop loss here. Many of them would say, I don't like stop losses. I hate them, or loathe them rather. On a totally unregulated market, I'm looking for decentralization and getting away from the regulations that the world has been corrupt towards for so many years, or since we've all been born. But the markets traded on now, Bittrex, Poloniex, and all of the exchanges are regulated, but there's nothing else that can be done about that. Manipulated market. We manipulate everything in the world. Humans are manipulators because we have creative brains that can do such. We can outsmart every animal on the planet. So we're good at manipulating. That will never end. However, why trade with a manipulated market? I think it's more profitable if you understand how the moves work, to be able to get the plays off. And the best one, 4% controlling 97%. The whole idea is try to find markets that are not in the 1 of 99. Now, I don't know what it is, but I would guess it'd be about this. And this is a beautiful percentage. Because 4% is 4 of every 100 crypto holders. If there are that many people that own 97 out of 100, that's a lot better than how the gold and silver markets are played out, how the stock markets are done, where I think on that one it really would be the 199. Now with Charlie Lee selling off all of his Litecoin, or I'd have to say a vast majority of it, I have to think that that's a beautiful percentage where maybe it might be like 5 to 96 or something, or however, but that's just basically how I'm looking at that as. Now let's look at the Litecoin and Ethereum. We'll start with Ether, and we're going to cross it with Bitcoin because it's been doing fantastic lately, as all of the vast majority of all the other altcoins are priced well below the 18 average of lows. And this has sustained a substantially outstanding rally since its December points, continuously making its higher lows. I think it might be the only one that is consistently making higher lows. Now, as far as any of the only big one that I know that is priced above the 18 average of highs, although not making higher lows like Ethereum, is the Litecoin cross against Bitcoin. There we see the pattern of going above the 18 average. So in that case, it's doing well against Ether. But when this thing came close to Christmas, this stopped going higher and went in a very rectangular range, a very thin rectangle based on where the market started from, or the high and the low. Very bullish, showing you that sellers weren't too aggressive. There were people taking the profits that they could, day traders doing their thing, and then a lack of big buyers. will always force the small people to grind the market lower. And therefore, when I see this, this obviously tells me the other markets, when they were down to key points, they had no problem selling. And realize that with the markets, when you see Bitcoin going down and the alts going down, this can be a lot of this could be the people with the big funds first selling the altcoins to acquire Bitcoin at the exchanges and such. And then after that, they are selling the Bitcoin for fiat currency. Now the opposite can be true too. You buy the Bitcoins, and then you take those Bitcoins and you buy altcoins. But let's just think about this for an example. If, say, someone were to take, say, even just like 10 grand or 20 grand, 50 grand on one of these altcoins, they can move the market pretty okay. And then you take that 50,000 worth and move Bitcoin, and you barely move it with 50 grand, if at all, even at that price. 50 grand is only like 4 Bitcoin. Maybe you can take it 1 or 2 bit orders. That's nothing really. Or basically move it 1/4%, whatever. So I like how the Litecoin chart is moving. But the more that I've been thinking about it, I really got to start considering playing this chart more. I have way too many Litecoin to do it. Now, the reason I don't like Ethereum is because I hate transferring it. I don't like it as money compared to Bitcoin and Litecoin. I love Litecoin compared to Bitcoin. But it almost seems as if, in comparison to most coins, that if I send it from like one exchange to another, that the exchange has to like manually approve it to be good. And I say this because on 2-3 occasions, it seems like the long wait for the Ethereum comes up and shows several, like an hour after they open. I remember one night, Sunday night, my time, dinner time, I transfer Ethereum from one exchange to another. So that's about midnight on the European side. And yet it took about 8 or 9 hours for it to come up. And there was never any recognition saying, it's coming, we're waiting for confirmations. Send it to Poloniex, same thing happened there. So I'm not a big fan of it in that sense. But I'm a fan of trading vehicles, which is what this is for me. Even on the Trezor wallet, I guess I have never tried opening an Ether wallet that they have on there. Maybe it's just simple and it's no big deal, but it's easy for me to move Dash and Litecoin and Bitcoin and ZEC and Bitcoin Cash and such to my Trezor. Doesn't seem so much for the Ether, at least for me. Anyway, my strategy is talking about selling above the 18 average of highs. Now it's an interesting situation because it's at the lowest point, barely above it. It's also significantly higher from this point, so there's a large amount of gap fill to the upside. And I thought if I'm going to trade, it's either going to be on the daily time frame or the 400-minute. Now the 400-minute gives us a very interesting picture. Let's bring it up. Okay. This thing is going to go much higher, I think. And I would not want to be a seller right now of Litecoin for Ethereum, probably until a decent gain. Here's your classic ascending triangle occurring after the price action broke out above the 18 average of highs with a tremendously nice green size candle, following that up with a single period consolidation where the price action didn't go down, barely went higher. And then they followed that up with another decent sized green candle, which was then followed up with this ascending triangle. And this period has just broken resistance. Okay. Let's take a look at an even shorter term time frame, say a 30-minute time frame. So there's the ascending triangle. This is the resistance level. We can also see very short term what is happening. Price action coming back down to the 18 average of highs, a newly rising 18 after it was flat before. Also back to where it came from, a major level of resistance. And it's leaving this area now within the green period we see amongst the 18 average of highs, very close to this established resistance of a couple hours back. So this tells me this is ready to break out. And now you're seeing 5 minutes, you're seeing just each individual trade, because there's only so many trades per 5 minutes. But to me, it looks like the buyers are in control of this market, and price action should make a move above what is already a big level of resistance from back in here. So what's the next key area after this for where it came from? I'd be thinking around the 23 handle. I think that will conclude this video. I'm trying to think if there's anything I am missing that I want to talk about. I pretty much went through it all. So yeah, I'm going to end it, and have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.